Hi guys, my name is Alex, and in today's video, I'm gonna talk about some topic that it looks so interesting for me because recently I was watching some video about it on the internet. S- Um, Basically, it's talk about how power is our mind, our human brain. Let's say. Um, um, yeah. Um, I want to say that I'm doing this kind of video recording myself in YouTube in order to see my how I speak in front of a camera for 5 minutes and every day until 100 times. So that is the 6 times I think so. But basically, it's one challenge that I made because I have this is one goal of many goals I set in the beginning of this year in order to grow professionally and personally. So and this is one steps I think of many steps in order to achieve that goal of achieving that or reaching that level in English language that is B2 level and be and get certification on one international professional test. So the first is talk about the power of human brain. Yeah. Why I've chosen this topic because it seems so interesting for me because um, mm, uh, when two times when I was younger in my 20s, um, I think I should underestimate the power of my brain. I thought that I just could learn basically things in my university study or in the high school, and I thought that I just could reach some uh, some goals that is short just for few people in my little town. So um, mm, uh, and some to sum up, I thought that no I wasn't able to learn or develop values skills in the future. So because I didn't trust in my mind, in my human brain, so I should underestimate the power of this human brain. Until now, I could realize that I can in my brain had the power of neuroplasticity that it consists I can learn and develop any skill as any human in the world, either be of United States or Europe countries. Those young people, we are the same level of learning and developing valuable skills as a young man. So that was something I could realize in this recent years. So I for that reason I I wanted to share with you guys about the power of the human brain. And the first paragraph, it says that human brain is one of the most powerful and complex part of the human body because it controls our emotion, our habits, our creativity, how we think about something, how we face something, some problem, obstacle we get through in with getting across in our daily basis, at the job or in a daily basis. So and also thanks to our human brain, we can learn through many years. We learn, adapt, and solve problems. Yeah, and also thanks to the human brains, I said that has the ability to learn new things. So one simple example of this is in my case, I developed the skills of listening, identify words of different language like the English language, and I can learn it and I can understand the meaning of each word and communicate each word and phrases um, in English language. So it's one valuable skill that I developed in from my point of view that I can prove that this is one power of the brain that is we can learn anything we wanted in this life in whatever area of the the knowledge and is something really interesting. We need to be very aware about it. And yeah, the English language was one specific and clear example because we gradually improve our vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and communication skills. And also, I wanted I wanted to say that one characteristic of the human brain is the neuroplasticity. Plasticity. What is the neuroplasticity? Is that when we learn something new, something I know for the first times, obviously is that knowledge, that new skill that we want to develop is gonna be tough, difficult to learn it in the first moment, in the first month, years maybe. But there's something in something useful and interesting that through the practice in daily basis, our human brain can improve with the time through the practice. For example, in English language, if I practice my speaking skills, if I will often listen listen uh, of that idiom in English language, my ears uh, often it's gonna get used to it of the meaning of each word, new word, phrases, verbs, and new meanings of each word in English language. Not only my ears, but my brain, how it's pronounced in that language. And with the time, I practicing speaking, practicing in ear and listening, and writing and reading, so forth. So it's one characteristic about the human brain. Yeah, another is the characteristic or maybe important role that our human brain plays is how we our brain responds when we face some problem or obstacle in our life through the emotions and behavior. Yeah, because thanks to our human brains, um, we can remember, come back emotion experience, knowledge we have stored in our brain from 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 past experience, and we can learn the useful lesson about it. And and so as we store that useful data and knowledge, and we can use them in our benefits when we face some problem, obstacle, or any kind, either financial or personal problems. We can remember those mistakes that taught us about some lesson, how to resolve, and we use them, and we can uh, get out in a good way about that problems. In this one useful things we can choose in favor us in our jobs, in our relationships. It's something interesting about how important is that our human brain about in that aspect. And one another valuable, interesting characteristic about our human brain is that it has the power of creativity. It means we can create scenarios, new hypotheses, or or possible scenarios to solve some problems, and just with our imaginations, um, setting possible options scenarios to solve some problems, either in our jobs or personal life. That's going to help us to get options, different options, and choose the best one, or make adjustments if it needed. If it needed, when we execute that uh, the solution. And one example about it is that uh, I have one goal, for example, is to buy a car in the short terms. Obviously, it's not gonna be an expensive car of the first hand. It's gonna be the second hand. So yeah, because it's very expensive. So I thought in my human brain, it has created possible scenarios, or it's made some plan. It has made some plan, imaginary. I imagining it's it has made some creativity plan to how I can got that car, how can got in a car, why I could reach that goal. It's possible for me to reach the goal. I made one analysis in order uh, to buy that car. And it's yeah, I executed my creativity, and it's more possibly I some good there are some good news that I can thanks to for my creativity that my human brain I could eventually I can get my car, and also I'm gonna uploaded some video YouTube, and making some ref, ref, um, some making some referential or referring some this video nowadays, 14 of August of 2026, that I, thanks to my creativity that I've made on in Google Drive in my sheets Excel, that I made a plan. I've made a plan. I made possible scenarios. I made a budget. I made a financial tracking in order to achieve the goal. Um, and that's so, thanks to my creativity. It's something, some easy example. I how can I take advantage of my creativity of my human brain? Yeah. And also, the last paragraph, it talks about that our brain is, we need to care of my human brain, right? Yeah. Maybe we cannot see our human brain physically, but there is some human brain in our head, and that doesn't mean we do not need to care of human brain. We need to care in order to it works pretty good, and helps us to reach our goals and being healthy. So what we can do in order to care of our brain? What can the first thing that comes to my mind is make exercise. Makes exercise. When we do not feel good, our brains convey signals to ourselves that we need to move. And when we get flu, those symptoms, it's easy that we do not feel good, and our human body is saying that we need to get exercise or eating healthy food, right? And the first thing I think is make exercise. It's going to help us, our human brains. Another thing is keep learning, being steady in learning new things, develop new skills. Our brains is going to work very good. It's going to get us to the next level, and our brain. Um, Another thing, obviously, is eating well, as I said before. Yeah, thanks to these uh, habits that I've mentioned before, it's going to help us to, our brains works very well in our concentrations, in our memory, and ability to make decisions very well, the best decisions. In conclusions, the human brain is an extraordinary tool that allows us to learn, remember, create, adapt, and make decisions. Its power is not only determined by the information we already know, but also by our ability to continue learning and improving. If we train our brains and develop good habits, we can use the power of our brain and achieve our goals and build our future. The last phrase I want to say about it is with you guys is that um, we as a young people, if we understand this knowledge about the power of our brain, not only understand the power of our brain, but execute all it's needed to getting strong our human brains and care of it, our capacity to reach our goals is going to be high, and ultimately we are going to be able to achieve our goals, and we're going to be fulfill our lives. That's something I'm sure, and it's something that I really liked to understand my peers, my coworkers, my relative, all my family, my friends, and all the world. And we learn, and we're getting know ourselves, we care of us, and we can create and achieve big things, great things, and that's it.